Everyone, Mike Stuchiner, Master Herbalist here with Z Natural Foods, and today's video is titled Chocolate Milk Powder versus Cacao Powder. What's the difference? Before we get started, two quick things to mention. First, if you'd like more information about me or you'd like to see more of my content, please go to my YouTube channel at A Master Herbalist's Perspective. Number two, if you would like to see more of my writings and more of my articles, please go to znaturalfoods.com. Finally, our medical disclaimer. The information you're about to receive is for educational purposes only and is not intended to treat, prescribe, or diagnose any general or specific medical conditions, and it is not intended to be a replacement for your primary healthcare provider's diagnosis, treatment plan, and medical information. With that said, let's get started. I have a question for you. Have you ever had the fantastic, amazing, awesome experience of eating pure, unadulterated cacao and savoring the rich, creamy, deliciously smooth texture, and most importantly, that unique, complex, bitter flavor profile? If not, I feel pity for you, because not only are you missing out on a spectacular treat, but you are more than likely making the same mistake that most people do, which is to refer to real cacao as cocoa or chocolate. The terms cacao, cocoa, and chocolate are often interchangeably used, giving a terribly false impression that they are all the same. But would it surprise you to learn that only one food can be called cacao, and most of what you see on the market is just a sweeter, indulgent variation created from this authentic food? In the end, they are all just horrible imposters. But in order to clearly define the difference between chocolate and cacao, it's vital to look at the multitude of different products created from cacao. And one of those products I'm going to discuss towards the end of this video is chocolate milk powder. And it's also vital to understand their individual nourishing qualities. So let's begin. Pure cacao is probably one of nature's most wondrous creations and is seen as one of the most incredible foods on earth. Cacao beans are the most pure, unadulterated form of what everybody knows as chocolate. Untreated raw organic cacao has been used for centuries as a wonderfully nourishing food and is exactly what Hippocrates had in mind when he stated, "Let food be thy medicine." Rich in a multitude of nourishing polyphenolic compounds and incredibly nutritious minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Depending on the quality of your cacao and which food analysis you might be looking up on the internet, 1 tablespoon of cacao, approximately 5 grams or 5,000 milligrams, yields 15 milligrams of calcium, more than 40 milligrams of magnesium, and 120 milligrams of potassium. Some ethnobotanists believe that cacao may be one of the most nutritious foods you can put in your body. The experience of eating nourishing cacao can be attributed to the synergy of all of these unique minerals and compounds found within cacao, but I am only going to discuss 3 of them because I have a lot of material to cover in this video. The first is caffeine, aka America's great stimulant. Caffeine is the world's most widely used stimulating agent. It is well known that caffeine stimulates the central nervous system, and according to studies, it may also stimulate blood flow in the brain and increase the secretion of serotonin. On average, approximately 300 milligrams a day of caffeine has been shown to be a beneficial dose for most. I repeat, most, not all adults. Approximately 50-gram servings of cacao contain 35 milligrams of caffeine, but let me make something very clear to each and every one of you watching these videos. Number one, it's important to understand that this is not the same thing as taking 35 milligrams of a caffeine supplement or what you would find in an energy drink, which is a multitude of isolated synthetic compounds. This 35 milligrams is mixed in with all of these incredibly nourishing polyphenolic compounds and these highly powerful minerals like magnesium, calcium, and potassium, all of which help to balance the human body's biochemistry. Okay? Very important to understand that. Next is theobromine, the powerful antioxidant. Theobromine, or otherwise known as caffeine's cousin, is primarily found in caffeine-based foods like chocolate and tea. In one 50-gram serving of cacao, you might discover as much as 250 milligrams of theobromine. Featured in Frontiers Pharmacology, researchers found that this fantastic compound not only offers remarkable antioxidant properties, but could be considered a safe and natural alternative in supporting a wide range of health ailments. And most importantly, it is one of the lead compounds being studied for possibly developing novel future therapies for a wide range of ailments. The third and final compound I'm going to discuss is PEA, aka the feel-good chemical. PEA is the actual love compound found in cacao. While PEA is in cacao in only small amounts, it actually carries a fairly significant effect. Via stimulation of the nervous system, PEA may trigger the release of endorphins and potentiate the activity of dopamine associated with sexual arousal and pleasure. So in other words, that restless feeling you feel when you're in love is primarily due to PEA. You're welcome, cacao, or thank you, cacao. You're welcome, people. But let's not also forget that cacao is backed by many, many human studies. And two specific areas where that is the case is in supporting and nourishing a healthy heart, because cacao may nourish many aspects of a healthy heart, and the research is quickly piling up. According to one Japanese study, the polyphenolic compounds found in cacao show great promise in possibly suppressing inflammation levels in the cardiovascular system. And another study showed that consuming cacao flavonols may positively impact what is known as cardiometabolic function, which is looking at the heart and metabolic conditions like diabetes. The other area where cacao is strongly backed up by human studies is how it nourishes the brain, because it doesn't just make a healthy heart, it puts a smile on our face and it makes our mood really good, okay? So studies conducted by researchers at the University of Reading showed the positive effect of cacao on the pressure of blood flow to the brain, stating that significant increases in regional perfusion across the brain were observed following consumption of high flavanol cacao-based drinks relative to low flavanol drinks, particularly in the anterior cingulate cortex of the brain. It was therefore concluded that these positive results from consuming cacao flavonoids have provided evidence for possibly supporting cognitive performance. But cacao is not just about its compounds. It's also about the fact that it is made up of 50% high quality nourishing fats, comprised of 2 saturated fatty acids and 1 monounsaturated fatty acids known as oleic, which is the same fatty acid found in olive oil. Golf clap for olive oil. In the article titled Cacao and Chocolate in Human Health and Disease, the following facts were stated regarding its nourishing qualities of cacao fat. The oil in cacao, referred to as cacao butter, is a mixture of monounsaturated and saturated fatty acids. And as stated before, the monounsaturated fraction is the same that is found in olive oil. The majority of the saturated fatty acids in cacao is palmitic acid and stearic acid. Stearic acid is unusual because it does not elevate serum lipid levels, aka cholesterol, to the same degree as other saturated fatty acids might. And the fourth statement that was made was, although lipid contents of chocolate is relatively high, 1/3 of the lipids in cacao is stearic acid, which is believed to be a non-atherogenic, or in simpler terms, it does not raise cholesterol levels. Now, at the beginning of this video, I did speak about and I did mention that we are comparing pure, unadulterated cacao to what would be considered your average chocolate milk product out there, okay? To give you some form of a reference on the incredible nourishing qualities of cacao. And this leads us to this section of the video, which is about the idea that not all chocolate mixes are in fact created equal. And this is where Z Natural Foods really won this battle, okay? When considering searching for a high quality chocolate milk powder, there are 2 critical factors to consider. The first is using simple quality ingredients, which lead to a highly nourishing, great tasting end product. Because everyone wants something that tastes good, but it doesn't mean it has to have bad ingredients in it. Number 2 is that nothing extra is added. You may have noticed that many chocolate milk products show a wide range regarding the percentage of cacao solids that it contains. Cacao solids are the components of cacao being remaining after the cacao butter has been extracted. The amount of cacao solids can range anywhere from a small amount, 30%, all the way up to 100%. But like your morning cup of joe, the purest form provides the most significant benefits. The more sugar, artificial sweeteners, and refined ingredients you add, the more your body has to work harder to derive the benefits of what could be an incredibly nourishing food. When creating a functional food product, nothing is more important than having ingredients in a form that supplies what we call a whole food complex. Whole food complex represents and delivers all nutrients and phytonutrients in their natural synergistic state. This assures the consumer will get quality nourishment in a form that is most usable and adaptable to the body. Many chocolate milk products contain unnecessary ingredients, often because the primary components, milk, and in most of those products, not even pure cacao, but just low quality chocolate or chocolate syrups used in those products have such a low overall quality to them. Pure, high quality cacao has a rich and bitter flavor profile, often an acquired flavor to what some would call the untrained palate. But only pure cacao provides you with the highest level of feel-good benefits falsely associated with chocolate products low in these cacao solids. So it's, in the most simple terms, it's a very common practice for many companies out there using low quality ingredients, leading to the addition of all of these other contents within the product: sugar, fortified nutrients, and most importantly, to support the flavor and what is such a low nutritional overall quality product. Okay? Unfortunately, in the end, it becomes a overly processed, low quality item, providing no real nourishing qualities to it. On the other hand, a product like what Z Natural Foods just came out which is their chocolate milk powder, is made with a high quality whole milk powder, a high quality 100% cacao powder, and just a tiny bit of stevia powder. In conclusion, consuming a pure 100% cacao product is best to get the maximal nourishing benefits from cacao. This is not to say that those products that contain 70 to 85% cacao or a chocolate bar mix with minimal ingredients is necessarily a bad thing. But nothing in the end really compares to using a product either independently or mixed with other foods that is 100% cacao. Those other products are excellent, what I like to call transitional products, which are very helpful to allowing your palate to get used to the unique flavor profile of 100% pure cacao. So, in conclusion, folks, if you are going to use cacao or you are going to use a chocolate milk product, it is best that you use a chocolate milk product with the least amount of ingredients that does contain 100% pure cacao. This is Mike Stuccino, Master Herbalist, signing out. I'll see you next time.